Welcome back to class. In today's class, I'm going to discuss with you the mathematics syllabus for UTME. You see, whenever you want to take an exam, it is very much important you know what is expected of you for that exam. And the best way to know what is expected of you for the exam is to follow the exam syllabus. All the questions that you will sit for in an examination have been set on the principles of some topics which have been outlined in the syllabus. So in today's class, I'm going to walk you through the JAMB's syllabus for mathematics. That is the topics you're expected to know before you sit for mathematics in JAMB. Now, the syllabus for mathematics is divided into 5 sections. These are number and numeration, algebra, geometry and trigonometry, calculus, and then statistics. Now, what does this mean? This means that if you can fully cover all the topics under these 5 sections, then UTME mathematics becomes less of a problem to you because you have fully covered all the topics you needed to know. Now, for each section, there are other topics under them. Now, let us look at the topics that are under each section. For number and numeration, we have number bases, fractions and decimals, approximation. Under approximation, we have significant figures, we have decimal places to the nearest whole number, to the nearest 10, to the nearest 100, and so on and so forth. Then we also have percentage errors, simple interest, profit and loss percent, ratio, proportion and rates, shares and value added tax, indices, standard forms, logarithms, sorts, sets, and Venn diagrams. So that means under number and numeration, you're expected to cover these 13 topics. Once you have fully covered these 13 topics, then you are done with the section on number and numeration. Moving on to the second section, we have algebra. What are the topics you're expected to know under algebra? We have polynomials, change of subject formula, variation, inequalities, progression. Under progression, we have AP and GP. AP stands for arithmetic progression, while GP stands for geometric progression. Then we are still going to talk about sequence and series under progression as well. Then we have binary operations, matrices, and determinants. All these are topics under the algebra section. So moving on to the third section, which is geometry and trigonometry, we have Euclidean geometry. Under Euclidean geometry, we have angles and lines, polygons, circle theorems, where we are going to discuss cyclic quadrilaterals and the likes. Then construction. Moving on, we have mensuration. Now, your mensuration is divided broadly into 2 parts. We have the 2D mensuration, we have 3D mensuration. What's 2D? That's two-dimensional mensuration. Under two-dimensional mensuration, we have the plane shapes. What are the plane shapes? Plane shapes are shapes that can be drawn on a plane. So we have triangle, we have rectangle, we have square, we have circle. All these are under two-dimensional shapes. We also have polygons generally, your pentagon, your hexagon, your nonagon, and so on and so forth. They are under 2D mensuration. Then the second part, which is three-dimensional mensuration, we have composite shapes, we have solid shapes. What are the examples of solid shapes? There is cube, there is cuboid, there is cylinder, there is cone, there is pyramid, there is frustum, and so on and so forth. All this make up the three-dimensional shape. So when we talk about mensuration, we will look at both the two-dimensional shapes and the three-dimensional shapes. Then moving on, we have longitudes and latitudes, loci, coordinate geometry. Under trigonometry, we will look at angles of elevation and depression. We are going to talk about bearings and distances. We will look at sine rule, cosine rule, and other things that you need to know under trigonometry. So these are the topics you are expected to know under geometry and trigonometry. Very important. Going on forward, we have calculus. Under calculus, what are the topics we are expected to know under calculus? We have limits of a function, differentiation, applications of differentiation, integration, applications of integration. And then finally, to the last section, we have statistics. Under statistics, we will discuss representation of data, frequency distribution, histogram, bar chart, pie chart, and so on. Measures of location. Under measures of locations, we have mean, median, and mode. Then we have the cumulative frequency. We also have cumulative frequency curve, which is known as OGIV. We have measures of dispersion. What are the topics under measures of dispersion? We have range, mean deviation, variance, and then standard deviation, both for grouped and ungrouped data. Now, moving on, we have permutation and combination, and finally, we have probability. These are the topics that you are expected to know before you sit for mathematics in UTME. Now, how should you follow this syllabus? First of all, I would like you to write out all these topics and sections in your mathematics notebook dedicated for this online class. Don't forget that you cannot use a jotter. Don't use a jotter. Use a standard notebook. It could be 60 leaves, it could be a hardcover notebook, it could be higher education. Make sure you have a dedicated notebook for this program so that you can get maximum benefit out of it. Don't just write here and there. Have a book dedicated to this mathematics. Now, when you have written out all these topics and sections, you are going to draw these circles and boxes. You will notice that in front of each section, we have a circle. At the front of each section, we have a circle. Then at the front of each topic, we have a box. At the front of each topic, we have a box. Now, what is the essence of this circle and what is the essence of this box? This is to monitor your progress, because according to this program, we will deal with those topics the way they have been written out. So to monitor your progress, as soon as we are done with a topic, you will put a tick inside the box. As soon as you are done with a topic and you have also attempted the quizzes on that topic, you put a tick inside a box. For instance, as soon as we are done with number bases, you will put a tick inside number bases to show that we are done with number bases. As soon as we are done with fractions and decimals as well, you put a tick inside it. The same thing applies to approximation. As soon as we are done, you put a tick inside those boxes. Then, when we are done with the entire topics under a section, you put a bigger tick inside the circle, a bigger tick inside the circle to show that we are done with the entire section. This is the way we will follow mathematics syllabus so that you can achieve excellent results in your JAMB Mathematics. So in the next video, we are going to start with number and numeration. And under number and numeration, we will first deal with number bases. This is how we will follow this program till we are done with the entire syllabus, and then we can solve as many past questions as possible. Thank you so much for joining this tutorial. This is JAMB Crusher and my name is Mr. Adeleke. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.